All right, Heather Ramsey here, Rewired Worldwide, part 2 of your 3-part decision-making series. You may remember, and hopefully you saw last week, I gave you a 4-step, easy step process. Step 1, look at your top decisions that you have been leaving as dangling participles, shall we say, that you haven't closed on, that you haven't made decisions on, and how long have you been delaying? What's the time that you've been delaying or spending or wasting, and the causes of that delay, whether inner game or outer game. Again, it's all recapped in the first video training. And then what is your best decision? Those 4 steps to move out of and shift out of decisiveness, stagnated, stuck, into decisiveness and making decisions and being in action. The second piece I want to bring to you is a phenomena that I see all the time. And I'm going to give you paint you a picture in relation to a sales experience. So you're probably often selling as a business owner or entrepreneur, but I want you to be in the buyer side for a moment and see, how do you behave as a prospect? How do you behave as a potential buyer? And what I see most often is people are leaning back, they're closed arms physically or attitudinally, they're defensive, closed, and playing hard to get, shall we say, but not in an interesting, feisty, negotiating, let's roll our sleeves up way, just in a potentially fear-based, worry-based, I don't want to buy, I don't want to hear what you've got to offer, this sense of closedness. Versus what I have shifted to is a leaning forward as a prospect. I used to lean back, when people would come to me with financial investments in business opportunities, 25 grand in a solar business investment or 10 grand in a hydrogen business investment. I used to lean back at those and be fearful and skeptical and worried. Now what I do is I lean forward, excited at whatever level, whether it's, I wonder how they sell, just at minimum learning that from there, or I wonder if what they have to offer is actually a match to what's on my dream board, what's in my vision, what I'm building, and therefore I'm curious and leaning forward, one, yet not worried about whether I'm going to make the wrong decision, which is part of what has people hold back, or that I'll be sold to something that I don't want. I'm leaning forward with the curiosity of what they have to see if there's a match for me. Oh, the universe is going to deliver things in interesting ways. And 2, with the confidence that I know I'm going to make my best decision for me, regardless of what they're offering or how they're offering it. And so the lean back, notice as a prospect, are you leaning back? Are you playing hard to get and hard to sell and kind of evasive, worried, feared, angry, snappy, whatever, as some prospects do? And or are you leaning forward, excited to have the conversation, curious whether there's a match, and clear and easy and unattached as to whether you say yes or no? Because probably how you're being as a prospect, a lot of folks being leaning back and tough and closed, is how your prospects are being. And so you making the shift first in terms of how you are a prospect will attract in different ways, and your language will shift as to the prospects that come to you and how they experience you in your selling process. Quick story, and then we'll wrap up on this part 2 of decision making. But I remember running recently a live Rewired for Success event, and a number of people who were graduates of us were up and around me because they were sharing their wins. Current people who were saying yes, they wanted to become part of Rewired for Success. That was sort of the second wave came up around me. So there's a big crowd around me, and there was these people still, as participants in the audience who could have felt really uncomfortable with they weren't a graduate of Rewired. They hadn't had these results yet. They may want them, but maybe they couldn't afford it. Whatever was, holding them back. And there was people who just said, yes, we're coming on board to the next wave of Rewired for Success. And yet, was I focused on them? Yes. But was I focused as much on the people who were, quote unquote, left out in the audience? Absolutely. And I said something to, or at least conveyed this vibe of, know that I'm still coaching. I'm not selling. Know that I am what I'm committed to is coaching and guiding you to your right answer, not to and unattached to whether it's yes or no. Because too many people want something, never decide, worry about it, think about it, and have all these dangling participles in their life and never complete with people or never complete with themselves. So I'm committed to you completing your decision today, so whatever's right for you. this one woman practically burst out of the group who was, or there was only a few left, but regardless, burst out of the audience and said, thank you. Thank you so much for allowing me to feel comfortable in my decision, allowing me to feel part of this rather than it's an us or them, or you're in if you're a client and you're out if you're a prospect that says no. It has nothing to do with that. Guide your prospects to their best answer. Guide yourself when you're a prospect to your best answer of yes or no, and so much will be easier in the world. And enjoy it. And people love that I am committed to guiding them to their best answer, unattached, whether it's yes or no, committed to their completing, not dangling participles, completing of their decision. So shift from indecisive to decisive, shift from leaning back, resistant and closed, to leaning forward and excited for what the world has to offer you through the people in your network and or through what you're offering other people, and you will attract the same, and your language will shift, and the experience of offering and sales and yeses and nos will be more honoring and more enjoyable for you and everybody that's around you. So I'm excited for this, you implementing this part 2 of leaning forward instead of back, both as prospect and as offerer in your business, in a way that's honoring and supporting people in making their best decision and supporting you in your best decision. That's how business happens. That's how the right people get matched up. That's how you don't have disappointing, unsatisfying clientele. You have the right people that are working with you, and you're working with the right people to serve you. So lean forward versus back, decisive, and coach people to their best answer, and yourself as well, and enjoy the process. Love that you're shifting to clearer, more complete, quicker, better decisions. It's going to be a game changer in your life. It is a shift. It is a process. And that was part 2 in a 3-part series of guiding you to your best decision, make better, faster, cleaner decision-making process. Heather Ramsey, Rewired Worldwide, serving you. Cheers.